What I wanted to talk about in this video is validation. Hello everyone, this is Mark Warren from Myopia's Mental, and this video is going to be a little bit different than my standard videos that I normally put out about improving your eyesight. It's going to be on a little bit of a tangent, but stick with it. It's still related to your eyesight as well as many other things that can occur in your life. We as human beings tend to seek a lot of validation. This is one of the topics that I talk on the Advanced Journey Guide, and we've discussed this many times on the live Q&A calls that we have monthly. The story behind it is when I first started learning to improve my eyesight, I went to the eye doctor and I told him there were times that I was having clear vision without my glasses, and I was having trouble reading with my glasses on. And if I took my glasses off, I found I could read just fine. You know, reading a book close up or doing some work on the tablet, on the computer up close. I was better reading the tablet or reading a book without my glasses on. After telling him all of this, and I told him some things that I was doing, to help, work on my vision, taking time without my glasses, taking breaks, looking out the window and things like that. And I said, I have moments when I have clarity. That doctor immediately dismissed what I was saying and invalidated. He just blew it off as, oh, your eyes are just probably going through changes because you're getting older and you probably just need a stronger prescription. In fact, he even wanted to recommend that I get bifocals. It was like, since you're having trouble reading close up, you need bifocals. He invalidated everything that I said. That's when I stopped and took a step back and I said, wait a minute, this isn't right. The thing is, a lot of times we know what's happening inside our bodies and what's going on, or we know when something's not right. And you go to these professionals who say they know what they're doing or know what they're saying, and they tell you that they have all the answers. I recently heard a quote from someone, and I don't know exactly who said it originally, but it goes like this: I would rather have questions that can't be answered than answers that can't be questioned. That's a powerful thing to think about. A lot of times professionals, and don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking medical professionals and saying that they're not needed at all, but they don't listen to what you're telling them about your body. For instance, you go in with shoulder pain, and he's like, I have shoulder pain, and the first thing they say, oh, can you lift it? They'll check your range of motion, things like that. Oh, okay, you can't lift it. Here's some pills. Take this and it'll get better. And it doesn't fix the problem, and it's only a Band-Aid. When you go to these professionals and they tell you to do these things, did they ever ask you, are you under stress? Are you tired? Are you fatigued? What are you doing? Are you lifting things? Those battery of questions never really come up in any type of exam. I can think back when I was a kid and I first got glasses. The doctor never asked me about my situation. I was in school, I think around about kindergarten, maybe first grade, and the teacher noticed I might be having trouble seeing the board. They never said, can you see the board clearly or not or anything. They just said he might be having trouble. And I went to that eye doctor and they ran a whole bunch of tests and they were in my face close, and they made me go through all, of course, the normal stuff that they do for an eye exam and said, oh, yep, you need glasses. Okay, but not one time did they ask, are you being bullied in school? Are you afraid of something? Is there something else going on that might be stressing you? None of those questions ever came up. Now that I'm older and I've done a lot of research, I know that stress and things that happen in your childhood can have an effect on your vision and how you see and how you perceive things. But again, those battery of questions never arose at any point in this exam. Fast forward to the last eye exam that I got dismissed. And all those things that I questioned, I was just given this one answer that, okay, this is the way it is, without taking anything that I said into consideration. A year or so later, I actually reached out to a well-known college that has an excellent ophthalmology program, I reached out to the director of that program and said, hey, here's what I'm doing to improve my vision. I can tell you specifically in details all the things, and I end up seeing clearly for long periods of time after doing these things. I was told that you're probably just having blur adaptation and you need to go see your local eye doctor. So again, dismissed after I'm telling you here's the things that I'm experiencing in my body and what I feel, and they passed it off as blur adaptation. I know for a fact that's not what was going on. We seek validation all the time, and it's ingrained in us from the time that we're actually born. Going through school, if you get straight A's, you're considered smart. The thing is, some of the smartest people in the world didn't do great in school. So we know that's not a case that straight A's means you're smart. If you drive a fancy car, that means you're successful. Just because you bought a fancy car doesn't mean you're successful. Maybe you're going broke over having that car. I can even look back at times when I've been on previous jobs and the things that happened in the job, they invalidated what I was saying. They did not take into consideration things that I was telling them. I might have had experience in a certain particular area and the company wanted to do things one way. I suggested this may not work if you do it, and even said consider doing it a different way. Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks a lot. They never listened to that input, did things their own way, and next thing you know, it didn't work the way they wanted. After I started my eyesight improvement journey, I stopped looking for validation from others and started coming up with my own metrics of how things should be. I think that's what a lot of us are missing in our lives, is we're trying to look for validation, somebody to prove that this works or that works. Stop looking to other people to tell you that it's right or wrong. Look to yourselves. A lot of people come here to watch my YouTube videos and they're like, you're a great teacher. I don't want to really be known as a teacher. I want to tell you information to help you to think and think on your own. When I've got that first clear flash of vision and I knew that shouldn't be possible to see perfectly clearly for any amount of time without your glasses, that got me to think that something's not right. And I don't have the whole story here. So that's when I started to have more questions. And the more you can be aware of things and start questioning things for yourself, you're going to find that you learn a lot more. I'm not saying go out and, throw up comments and ask me thousands of questions. Do your own homework and research and start figuring out some of this for yourself. Again, come up with your own metrics of determining whether something is right or wrong. I often get comments like the stuff that you talk about is snake oil and that doesn't work, and all these doctors, they know what they're talking about, but then yet there's thousands of comments from people that say, oh wow, my eyesight did improve just by doing these little things. We all know that doctors are not always right, and this stuff, and I'm not just talking about doctors, I'm talking about scientists and other things. They'll say one thing one time and some years later they'll come out and say, oh, we're going to change our opinion or our thoughts on this because we were wrong back then. What I'm saying to you is start looking to yourself internally for what's wrong and start to listen into your body as to what could make it right. My goal is, again, not to tell you exactly what you should do. My goal is to get you to start thinking and asking those questions as to whether or not maybe something that you've been told wasn't exactly the truth. There's the difference between what's true and what's false and what's truth. Something that's true can also be false, and something that's false can also be true. But if it's truth, it can only be the truth. And that's my thing is I want you to start thinking and coming up to your own truth, not just your own truth. I want you to find out truth, undisputed truth that cannot be false. I know the mental part of improving my eyesight and being on this journey is just as important or more important than all the technique stuff that I talk about as well. We've got to get into the framework of how we think about things and question things when you think it's not right or something doesn't feel right to you. Don't let others dictate to you how you're feeling internally and how you're improving, because nobody can know you internally, what you're going through, what you're feeling, except for you. Nobody can do that. So start listening more to yourself, and you'll find you'll learn more about yourself, and you'll start to experience changes faster because of that.